guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called 5 Genius German Life Hacks Americans Have Never Seen Before and You Need to Know. This is from a channel called Passport 2. So yes, I'm all for let's make life easier. So let's check out what these tricks are, these life hacks. So let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
When you're up to your eyeballs in German bureaucracy, you may think to yourself, Germans just make things way too complicated. But hold your horses, partner, because today we're going to share with you a few uniquely German life hacks that can simplify and bring more enjoyment to your life. Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany with our baby, sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. Merriam-Webster defines a life hack as a usually simple and clever tip or technique for accomplishing some familiar task more easily and efficiently. And if there is one word that Germans are well known for, it is this one. Like the definition describes, this could be some process that takes a long time, and once you apply a life hack, it can help you do that process faster. Or a life hack could be simply something that just makes your life more enjoyable in a unique way, or helps things become more practical that normally are a waste. Now, a lot of hacks are universal, but in our 3 years of living in Germany, we have learned that Germans have developed a few unique life hacks that we had never seen before moving here. And that's exactly what we are going to talk about today in our video. German life hack. Any other way is just whack. One of the very first German life hacks that we learned about when some of our viewers commented 2 years ago about our German sin of eating Knödel with Schnitzel was what I now call leftovers. So we've all been there. We got a little aggressive with the amount of bread that we bought and end up with some that is at risk of going bad before we can actually finish it all. So what do Germans do? You take the leftover bread and make Knödel. Knödel is often translated to dumpling in English, but I would just translate it as big boiled balls. To make Knödel, you take stale hard white bread, cut it up, soak that with hot milk, then mix with egg, herbs and spices, maybe some onion, and then you form those into giant balls. You then boil these balls and you have one of our favorite German side dishes. But you're done eating your leftover bread creation and you accidentally made too many. Well, throw those in the fridge and save for another day, of course. But what do you do now that you have leftover Knödel that you don't want to eat? Well, maybe some people would throw out leftovers, but German life hack, make a different leftover creation out of that leftover creation, and according to the comment section on our channel, cut the Knödel into slices and fry them in the pan with butter, or alternatively, add eggs and fresh chives, seasoned with salt and pepper.
It's sort of like a demented French toast, but I thought that was the way to go. You have to fry them.
And you have a German leftover breakfast of champions. Now, I don't know if this would finally be the end of the line for that old bread that was going bad, or if somebody has another hack to keep the cycle of recycling the leftovers into new leftover meal creations.
Make like panko.
But if you do, let us know in the comments. I recently did a video about some strange things we found in our German home that we had never seen before, and I asked you guys to help us explain what they might be. One mystery that you helped solve were these random switches on the wall that didn't seem to do anything when we flipped them on. I was just left under the impression that based on the appearance and the fact that nothing happened when they were switched on, that these were old remnants from some bygone era and didn't have any use anymore after years of updates and renovations of our house. However, these are actually a German life hack. So what do you do in the US when it's the evening time after a long day of work and the doorbell rings? You mute the TV, switch off the lights, duck and hide from all the windows so it looks like you aren't home and whoever is at the door will leave you alone. However, in Germany, as you walk in your house, throw off your shoes and stress from that long day, you flip this switch on your way in your house and it actually turns your doorbell off. Now, when your pesky neighbor wants to bother you during your evening glass of wine and a bubbly bath, your bell won't ring and they must leave you alone without you ever even knowing they were there. Or a practical use for us now.
This is crazy because I'm pretty sure I've seen this in some houses and I never really asked, but I thought it was a remnant of so, what is this?
In the US, we were
anything.
used to seeing people put signs on their front doors saying something to the effect of, baby napping, please don't ring the bell.
I've never seen that.
German life hack, just switch the bell off with this switch and your baby won't be bothered. To be honest, we wouldn't have in a million years figured out that this was the use for these switches because this is something that we had never heard of or seen in the US. So for all our
it's
viewers
weird.
that chimed in the comment section of our last video and taught us this very useful switch was a true German life hack, thank you. However, we literally still have neighbors that come and peek in our windows to see if we are home when we don't answer the doorbell anyways.
Oh my God, that's so
But that's a story for a different day.
That's invasive. No.
Now, this next life hack is honestly pretty specific to Germany because of the difference in grocery stores in the US versus in Germany. So this isn't really one that you can apply to your life if you live in the US, most likely. Now, we've all seen the memes and videos from foreigners talking about their culture shock moment when they went through the checkout line for the first time at a German grocery store and struggled to keep up with the blitzkrieg pace at which the checkout clerk scanned the goods and threw them down to be
Efficient.
bagged. Well, maybe you can help clarify if this actually is a life hack or the opposite of a life hack, because in the attempt for maximum efficiency and checkout speed, a lot of Germans have learned to put half of their scannable goods at the front of the conveyor belt, then place their produce, and then the second half of their scannable goods in order to actually slow things down. So yeah, is this a life hack or the opposite of a life hack? Because the point of doing this is
to
that
make it
halfway
easier.
through scanning your goods, the clerk will be forced to slow down and weigh each produce item, which will give you time to catch up, putting your goods in your bags, thus possibly
That's what self-checkout, it's king. No, you have to use a self-checkout. You don't have to deal with any of this.
slowing things down and making things less efficient? No, this has to be a life hack because if you put your produce at the end thinking this will keep your goods from getting squished, you might end up bottlenecking the checkout line as you try and play catch up at the end, bagging
This
your
is
goods at the
so-
same time as you need to be paying for your
I feel like this is a nightmare situation just because you feel like everyone's hating you. It's like, can you hurry up? And no one's telling you this, but you can feel the pressure. So it's sort of like, I'm sorry.
goods.
Awful.
Of course, for those of you wondering why this wouldn't really apply to anybody or help hack their life in, say, the US, well, as we've talked about in other videos, in the US, you almost always have someone who is a bagger that is an
Yes.
employee of the grocery store and bags the groceries for you, and the team of baggers and checkout clerks
but
usually do
People are just very nice. Like the cashier is trying to talk to you, and it's fine. But again, do the self-checkout. You don't have to deal with any of this. Like either in the US or in Germany, self-checkout, no, you don't have to deal with anyone.
work a little bit slower paced than in Germany. So the order you put things on the conveyor belt will be
It just dawned on me that probably a German person is gonna be like driven nuts by this, or maybe it's a oh my god, it's a respite of all the stress that it takes to actually do your grocery shopping in the US because everything's such a like a leisurely pace. Maybe it's like oh my god, they're either gonna be very stressed or they're gonna be quite thankful for I can relax now.
more important for the order things go in the bag to protect squishable items versus an attempt to slow the process down.
Yeah, I don't care. It goes well, but I don't want to squish my produce.
You have your lunch before you. You have your bratwurst, and you scrape out the last bit of mustard from the jar to enjoy alongside it, and you go to grab a glass for your Spezi, but oh no, you don't have any more cups in your cupboard. What do? German life hack. The glass
Yes,
jars
they-
by Tommy are staples to every good German's cup cupboard as a drinking glass once they have finished a jar of mustard. Now, okay, every good Southern boy and girl in the US
It's like a mason jar, like
are now saying, wait, that's not at all unique to Germany because we all drink our sweet tea out of a mason jar. And okay, I hear you. I've been to the Southern chic weddings with the fancy mason jars that everybody drinks out of semi-ironically. And yes,
In a
my Southern
wedding?
grandparents also taught us to never throw away a jelly jar because they can be used as a cup along with hundreds of other uses. However, I will say that these mustard jars in Germany are much better designed for drinking from than an old mason jar. Where a mason jar can act as a glass simply for the fact that it holds liquid, you still have the annoying screw top rim that isn't conducive
Correct.
to comfortable guzzling, whereas the mustard glasses in Germany are perfectly
They look
designed
like
for
a glass.
drinking out of,
Yes.
and they literally tell you to do so on the packaging. I can also
Oh,
imagine,
big
besides
glass.
just older generations who have been trained to save everything and repurpose everything who might use these glasses rather than throwing them away, I can also imagine young people just starting in the adult world not having a penny to spare who can slowly collect cups at
use
home
those.
as they slowly finish mustard jars over time. Now, I would be interested in knowing from our German viewers, how
It's like, oh, I can't invite you over. Like maybe come in 6 months when I have more jars, leftover jars. Maybe I can invite you home.
many of these mustard jars do you currently have in your kitchen that you've slowly saved up through the years as free drinkware? So those are a few German life hacks that we have learned from Germans over the past 3 years of living in Germany. So I want to return the favor and teach Germans about a little life hack that I have discovered on my own while living here. This is something that I do believe that Germans should all implement into their lives, as it will greatly increase their quality of life. And for this, we need a cup of coffee and Milka Choco wafers. So years ago, Aubrey and I were traveling the world full time on a gap year, I guess you could call it, and we went to Australia. Now in Australia, they have a famous snack called a Tim Tam, and the best way to enjoy a Tim Tam is by doing what is called a Tim Tam slam. Well, in Germany,
You just slam
I
it?
present to you the Milka Wafer Käfer. Okay, the name is actually a work in progress still, and I'm open to suggestions in the comments below because I couldn't come up with a better rhyme. That's all I could come up with. But let me show you how this life hack works. You
dunk it in your
first
coffee?
open your Milka wafer, obviously, the first step. So the Milka wafer cookie, you will bite into one end of the wafer cookie,
Okay, this has several steps from
and you want it to be kind of a small bite. Don't bite down huge because you don't want to take too much of the cookie away when you're doing this. And then you're going to take
Okay.
another small bite, typically on the other end or a little bit onto the side.
Oh my god, there's a technique to this. Okay.
Smallish bite, that one can be a little bit bigger. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the cookie, you're going to submerge one side, then you're going to suck through the other side of the cookie.
What? I'm not doing that.
Then pull it out and enjoy the cookie.
Like, oh, because it tastes like coffee. I don't know, it's just weird.
So essentially what we've done is we have created a delicious chocolate cookie straw, and you'll suck the coffee up into the wafer cookie. And the reason why you need a piping hot cup of coffee is because the coffee will actually start to kind of
It
melt
melts,
and soften
yeah,
the inside
the chocolate.
wafers, but the chocolate won't actually melt immediately. It'll kind of act like it's a casing. And so what you'll end up doing is softening and infusing the wafer cookie with the coffee.
I think maybe you just dunk your cookie in the coffee that's what I would do. This seems like quite complicated.
Flavor, and then you have a delicious snack. The chocolate wafers are already
Dunk
pretty
it.
good, but this will just up it way more to a whole new level that you've never experienced before.
I don't know.
And you're
I
gonna
would
love
do
every
this
second of it.
for the whole cookie. That's
But if you
it.
give this a go, I would love to see how it goes and what you rate it. So take a picture and tag us on your Insta story or wherever you want to post it so I can see what you thought about the Milka Wafer Käfer. And also, if anybody has a better, more catchy name for it, let me know. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is Spain or Italy? Which Mediterranean destination would you prefer to go to? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you in our next video. You should be actually practicing speaking English for the most You should be actually practicing speaking it for the most effective way to work on. You should be actually practicing speaking it.
Yeah, I liked it, all the life hacks. The cookie one, work in progress. I think it's like way too much of a hassle to just dunk it in your coffee and do this, but whatever. I found it really interesting. Like I like the one with the jars. I think it's really funny because, like you mentioned, like the mason jars are just something that I think everyone has used at some point. Everyone has them in their house. You know, you're gonna have like an old mason jar somewhere in the cupboard, and you use them, but like he said, it's just something that you can use. Like, can you use them? Yes. Is it pretty? I mean, I don't know. Like, can you afford to like buy better glassware? Well, if you can, obviously you're gonna buy your own set and you're gonna have like your pretty like cups and stuff. But even though you have like your own set and all that, I think chances are you're gonna have like an old mason jar somewhere, because I don't know why. Like, is that like he mentioned, it was like it's probably like a grandparent thing, like because usually grandparents like have gone through like a lot of things, so it's usually like, oh, they're trying to like save some, no, they're trying to save, they're constantly like repurposing things, or like you're constantly trying to save other things. So it's sort of, yeah, you have to repurpose this, and they're very into like recycling before it was kind of like fashionable in a way, because it's not as if, oh, they're not doing it to be like sustainable. No, it's just something that their life, like how their life went, because again, they gone through a lot of things. So I guess maybe, but I think usually everyone has this, but I realize that not everyone does this, of like you're constantly finding uses for other things and all of that. So again, I get his point of like usually it's grandparents that you kind of like, oh yeah, you have to like reuse this, and there's glass like jars in their kitchen, and you kind of pass they pass it on to you, and before you realize, you're also like you're hoarding like cups and glassware, not technically glasses, because again, you never know, it's just in case, you constantly save them, because you never know when which oh, there's gonna be a time when I'm gonna be using this. Chances are that time is never gonna come, but you're still gonna have them in your kitchen, just because like, again, who knows. So it's better, again, maybe you broke you broke your glass and something, but you technically you usually have like more than one, right? It's not as if you only have one one glass, so if I break that one, oh, I'm left out of like glassware. No, but I get his point. You have like old glassware, especially like the jam jars, the glass ones from like, I don't know, like Smuckers or something. Probably not Smuckers, but whatever. You have them, and the mason jars, and it's kind of true. Like, you don't actually drink from them all that often, because you're kind of like, you have to save them, because again, you never know. However, like, it's not something that you're reaching if you have other things. It's just something that you have just in case. Which, okay, yeah, sure, like, whatever, I get it. But it's not something that, that, like he said, you can drink from them. Are they're like the most comfortable glass to drink from? Well, no, not really. Like, it has the little indentations, and is it like uncomfortable? No, but there are better options, as in like a normal glass that you can like buy. But in this case, I love the idea. No, the mustard is actually, and it's also in the can. In the opening thing of like, yes, no, in the cap, like, this are made, like, we made this for you to like get them, wash them and like get them, and you don't have to throw them out, which I love. And it's just such a like German thing of the whole constantly like reusing things, and because again, they're efficient, of course, but I think there's like a very German thing in the whole, we can't throw away things, but not in a bad sense, not as if, if it's garbage, yeah, of course you're gonna throw them out. But I like the idea, and I think it's just like a very German thought and a German sort of mindset to be like, if this has another purpose, like, again, it's probably very, even if it's efficient, it's the right word, but it's just very of like, if you can use this for something else, then yes, we're going to be using it. And I like it that it's just, don't throw it out unless like you necessarily have to, which again, I think it's probably like would be the American mindset of, oh, just like throw it out. Like, there's no purpose, unless of course, again, grandparents, yes, and they pass it on to you. Then usually I think the general mindset of is just sort of like throw things and like have more, throw more garbage and have more trash. But in this case, like the very German, I think it's a very German thought, the whole, no, let's repurpose this, and this is actually made for two things. It's made for you to, again, have your mustard, and it's also made for you to have like an actual glassware. So I love it, and it's true, because in the other case that I just mentioned, because I think like Smuckers and all the jam, like the Boomaman and all of them, I think they also have the little indentations. I haven't paid that much attention. Now I will. But it's true that they all had the little like jar indentations, but in this case, they do not have them. So of course it's great. It's literally made for you to be comfortably be drinking from this, and they're also telling you, like, the literal company is telling you, we make this for you to be able to drink. So this was my absolute favorite. I think if I ever, I would definitely have, I would go there. I would probably, if I were going on vacation, I would, put a few of these in my luggage, and then, when I'm done with my mustard, I would have those cool glasses, which is just like, oh, I like it. It's just they're made for this, which I absolutely adore. The other is, again, the cashier one. I understand. I think it's just, this is a hard process that shouldn't be that hard, because it's like, they're bagging groceries. Like, how hard of a process could it be? But I just think it's really stressful situation, unless the thing that I am imagining, because I know that probably the cashier, I've heard apparently, like, they're very, like, it's going to go fast, and you're like, oh my god, okay, well, can you, like, can you slow down? They can't, because they're not, that's not their job. And also, you have to, like, constantly bag them. And again, I probably think, because if you are visiting, you're the one that it's like the outsider, and you're probably thinking, oh my god, this is going very fast. All German people, like, they are aware this is how the system works, so everyone's trying, oh my god, this person's taking forever. So it's like, no, I'm sorry, like, I'm new here. I do not, seriously, I wouldn't want to impose. So this is like a very stressful situation for me. I would go, no, just don't they have the self-checkout, like, the machines? I want to know so badly, because it's like, no, I would save myself the hassle. I wouldn't want to impose on, like, other people online. The cashier, it's probably going to hate on me, but I'm probably overthinking this. It's just like, oh my god, no, I can't. This is like a very stressful situation that it's all probably your head, right? I am aware, but I wouldn't want anyone to, like, I wouldn't want to impose. I just have number one question is, don't they have self-checkout machines? Please tell me they do, because this is this is so incredibly stressful to me. Because I know you're inconveniencing everyone. You're inconveniencing the other people online. You're inconveniencing, like, the cashier, and you're constantly like, and of course you don't want to squeeze your produce, because no, like, what happens if you have, like, like tomatoes, like bananas, lettuce, like, again, your old produce is like, no, I don't want to get it all squished. So again, self-checkout, it's, it saves you all the trouble. You're doing everything. You're not imposing on anyone. You're just going at your leisurely pace. I can bag the way I like, and I don't care. I know some people are probably like, they like this model because it's efficient and you're saving time. But to me, like, I don't care. Like, how much time am I saving? Like 2 minutes? It's fine. I can spare like 2 minutes of my time to bag the way I want to. But it's just like a very stressful situation that I'm like, I'm stressed just thinking about it. So hopefully they have, like, self-checkout machines. Please tell me they do, because I would hate to think that people are just, like, losing their minds over this. And again, maybe it's all in my head, but I just think it's, I don't know, I do not like it. And the bread one, I can't remember the actual name of the dish, but I think it's great. It seems like it's a French toast, I think, maybe, but of course I know that a French toast it's sweet. But, I like it, because it's just like, yeah, I like the leftovers. And again, it just comes to the whole mentality that I mentioned, like the whole German mentality of, why would we throw away something that can still be reused and repurposed? I think, like, this is, again, another clear example of, like, how a German mentality works. It's like, it's good bread, because bread is technically, it's good. It's starting to go bad, but it's not bad. It's just very, again, you wouldn't throw it out, because what a shame to actually throw away bread that's not moldy or anything, only that it's not fresh. So what would you do? Of course, they invented a dish that actually, that you can use this and you don't have to throw it out. I love it. And then again, you go a step further than this, and it's not just one leftover. You can have leftovers from your leftovers, which, oh my god, I love it. It's German mentality at its best. It's why would we throw away a good thing? Like, if you can repurpose this, of course, which I like it. It's like a very sustainable mentality that I love. And I think just it looks like it's simple. Because my main sort of thought was, oh, I would absolutely fry them, but it's not. No, that's the other step. That's the leftover from the leftovers. But again, because I was imagining something like akin to a French toast, but no, this is like a savory one. I know that a lot of other cultures, I think in Europe, do this of, like, why would you throw away perfectly good bread that it's starting to go, is not as fresh. I think a lot of cultures do this, only that they kind of do it with, like, I think I've seen them that it's just like a more like a dessert like thing. But, in other cultures and in other countries. But I like this one. I think I'm going to start using it because, again, in the US, this could never be because, bread doesn't really go bad. It's just like, it's kind of plastic, bread, if you can technically call it bread. it doesn't really go bad unless like months go by. So yes, it's something that could ever come from like a European culture, and specifically like a German one, because they're reusing things and they're constantly finding ways to be more efficient and to have less, less garbage, and I don't know, it's just like more sustainable, but without meaning to be sustainable. It's just like in their culture, which I love. But that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.